This faggot wants to speak on all motherfucking Niners and my non-mother.
Stargate. Put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure.
The data centers are actually under construction. The first of them are under construction in Texas, the Abilene location, which is our first location.
Abilene is a town on the western central plains of Texas. We kind of scratch and fight for everything good that comes our way.
I had people reaching out and they said, well, is the president going to come see you? And I said, well, he hasn't texted me yet. So.
I'm thrilled we get to do this in the United States of America. I think this will be the most important project of this era.
Welcome to Abilene, Texas. This is the site of Project Stargate, a very mysterious, much talked about, much speculated about project that brings together OpenAI, SoftBank.
Stargate. Put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion.
Oh, boy. Good morning and welcome to the Friday edition of Let It Be Known. Niele, I wouldn't invest in anything this guy says. You're on mute, Niele.
Oh, that's not me. Peace and love, everybody, and welcome to the show. We got a lot of headlines to get to today. And of course, we're starting with AI. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Listen, only thing I'm gonna say is this, and may or may not have anything to do with it, but this guy comes on the screen with the AI stuff, Trump. Yesterday, you can't get more embarrassing than Lawrence Taylor. It's so funny because I was Lawrence Taylor, the Hall of Fame football player from the New York Giants. I was talking to somebody, chatting with somebody about. I was talking to my barber about the greatest defensive players in NFL history, and we were talking about Lawrence Taylor. But this guy goes and stands with Trump at a news conference, and basically, it was a scene straight out of the thing with Samuel L. Jackson. What's that movie? That crazy racist movie. He's a slave. You don't know. Okay.
Oh, Django.
Django. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it was straight out of that. Lawrence Taylor is an embarrassment, disgrace, disgusting. They should remove him from the Hall of Fame. Ah, gosh. I mean, he's like, I'm here to serve you. He's still telling Trump, whatever you want. I don't know what this is what he said. I don't know what's this about. I don't know why am I here? But I do know one thing. I'm here to serve you. Whatever you say, I'm here to serve you. This is Lawrence Taylor. And that's verbatim. That's not me adding anything or taking away. That's what he said.
Oh, wow. Crazy Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we're going to get to that you guys saw a very short clip of a very profanity-laced thing earlier, but we're going to get to that. That's about the Los Angeles City Council. But first, Niele, we talked about Diddy yesterday. I believe we talked about the part where he is asking for bail. Now, he is filing a motion to overturn his conviction. He has filed a motion, but get this, they're arguing that the charges are legally unsupported and unprecedented. The jury rejected the trafficking, coercion, and racketeering counts, yet they convicted him on 2 counts under a century-old statute. His attorneys claim that he's the only person ever convicted under the Mann Act without sex, coercion, profit, or intent to traffic, calling it a misuse of a law that the DOJ rarely enforces in such cases. And here's the thing. They made this point, and every legal expert that chimed in on this agreed with Diddy's team on this, but they also said they doubt that this judge is going to go along with it, but an appeals court will certainly overthrow the conviction because they brought these other charges. And the only reason why he was convicted of the Mann Act is because of the other charges was unsupported because he was acquitted. And many argued those racketeering charges should never have been brought in the first place. And of course, Diddy's arguing too that, listen, he wasn't the one who was benefiting from the escorts coming to the hotels and whatever else. The women were. So that's the other part of it. But the big part, what the legal experts are saying is that if they never brought the racketeering charges, then it's easy to say that he would have been acquitted of the Mann Act because you have no evidence or nothing to support that.
So yesterday, a federal judge denied Diddy's latest bail request. That came out yesterday. And he said Diddy provided no reason for reconsideration. And so, Diddy is doing everything he can with rumors of Donald Trump saying that he's considering pardoning Diddy. It feels like he's probably feeling like, he has a really strong chance of getting out. The only thing is, it seems like this judge is not going to relinquish his power to Trump nor Diddy. And so the judge is just going to let it play out. But I really think the judge is waiting to see if Diddy has real remorse. Has he been going to counseling? Has he done the work on himself? And, he wants to see from the attorneys, he wants to see the records of the therapy, just what have you done? Because you are an abuser. That's been proven in court. You are an abuser. And you do have some issues that you need to work through. I think that's Diddy's biggest challenge, is to show that he's remorseful and that he has put in the work on himself. If he would do that instead of all of these other antics, I think he'd be out of jail sooner than he'd expect.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd call them antics though. I think any defendant who's convicted or in this case acquitted of the more serious charges and feels like, wait a minute, I've been cheated here. I think any defendant, everybody appeals pretty much. I mean, there's not many who don't appeal. So I don't know that I'd call them antics, but I see your point about the violence that they talked about. But I do see this. One or two things are going to happen here. He's going to do some time until the New York State Supreme Court gets this case, and they're going to toss it. They're going to overturn this verdict. I think he has 100% grounds. It's unfortunate. I still don't understand why they didn't bring domestic violence charges against him. I just don't understand that. I know federal, we were told they would never bring, that's just not their jurisdiction. But why hasn't New York or Los Angeles or Miami brought domestic violence charges against this guy? No answer to that. Is that a little isn't that a little crazy that they haven't, especially given the fact that not only did they have the evidence from the video, but now you've had a criminal trial in which he's admitted to being an abuser.
Well, at the end of the day, the charges were brought upon him have nothing to do with domestic violence. And we can only focus on what's at hand. Yesterday, his bail was denied. He's trying to get out. Donald Trump is playing with the case. Of course, everything Donald Trump does is a deflection. Look over here, not at me. Look over there, not at me. And so I think, like I say, I just think Diddy has a really good chance of getting out of jail as long as he does the work on himself at the end of the day.
Yeah, again, I'm just perplexed. RNG says statute of limitations, but I remember someone saying that they had not run out. That's what makes it more perplexing, that he has not been charged. And maybe if he is released from this, or once he's released from this, maybe they will lodge these charges. I know that the statute in some states have changed now too, and they have made him longer. But we'll see. We will see. But it's no sympathy for the guy. I think he got based on what came out in the trial and how the trial went, I think he got a bad deal. I think that again, the charge the only real charge supported here was domestic violence, and he should have been able to. They should have been able to. The jury should have been. The jury should have been able to consider that. Is what I'm saying. That's all. So you heard that clip earlier. It was about the Los Angeles City Council, which voted 14-0 to ban the N-word and the C-word during public comments at meetings. Offenders will get a warning, face removal, and possible bans. Council members say the rule targets hate, not speech. Neil, when I heard that those meetings, and there are several videos, real videos with those meetings. How did they allow this to go on?
Because it's for the public, and that's your First Amendment right. I've been into that's what to me makes the meetings pop. They're the usual suspects every week. They sign up for public comment, and when the council members do things they don't like, they cuss them out. And after you're sitting there for so long, you're looking at your phone, and then you just kind of look up like, did she just call council member a C word? I mean, and it could be, but it's part of, your First Amendment right. But, I guess the city council members are tired of being beaten up on because they get trashed. They get trashed, and it's by the same people. So basically what they're doing is, cutting out those 3 to 4 individuals that constantly show up to attack the council members.
I once covered the city council in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and I always thought that I would never see a circus like that again. And that there was never any that type of language. It was always crazy. In fact, we used to call those regulars who came to council the Legion of Doom. But they just took me out. But then I thought about this too, Niele. That the LA Council has had its own share of controversy within the body itself when it comes to racist behavior.
And all of those council members are gone now. But this right here is I can speak from experience in going to city council meetings. It's pretty much the same individuals that show up each week and just trash and cuss out the city council members for potholes. You didn't fix the potholes, or for grievances that stem back years. And so they're tired of it. The president of the city council is Marquise Harris Dawkins, and he just was like, we're going to make some reform. And this is, going to be one of them.
Yeah, I cannot disagree with that type of reform. I don't think it's about free speech. This is about hate speech. And hate speech used to be, until Donald Trump took office, it used to be outlawed. So this is about hate speech. That's how I see it. So anyway, a San Diego County, going further south, a San Diego County judge ruled that Faison Love, known for Rose and Friday and Elf, will stand trial for felony assault with a deadly weapon. Prosecutors alleged that Faison threw a credit card reader at a hotel clerk during a heated dispute over a booking issue last August, causing a concussion. The woman testified that Faison became irate, shouted about his celebrity, "You know who I am," and struck her in the head. He has pleaded not guilty. His attorneys question the credibility of the witnesses. But the thing about it is, listen, bottom line, one of the bottom lines, because I guess you can have multiple bottom lines nowadays, fame doesn't excuse violence. So is Faison Love's trial going to be a test of whether celebrity status can shield someone from real consequences, Niele?
Faison Love is a character. I've worked with them several times. I used to book him for J. Anthony Brown's club, and he is a jerk. You know, and he's been up in my
Point
face
blank.
several times. You know, I just call back, you know, because I got to get my job done. Jay wants you at the club. I need you here. But he and what really pisses him off is if you don't know who he is. So I was kind of green coming in. So I mean, I knew who he was by face, but maybe not by name. I mean, and he just really got offended by that. And so I believe that that did happen because he expects you to know who he is. But you know, we'll see what happens. I just think that he probably just needs to be taught a lesson and put in his place. And it seems like it happened in San Diego.
The thing about it is Faison has never, I mean, he's had a couple of roles that, you know, within the context of the movie you remember, but he is not, you know, he's not Denzel Washington where I know you, you know. I mean, he's got some, when they are A-listers rarely throw that "do you know who I am" thing around. It's,
I don't know about that, but
I mean, and cases like that, I don't know. I've not really heard, you know, the bigger stars doing that, but you know, maybe in other ways they do. But come on, Faison, you are not that big.
well,
It's like,
yes, he is, but
well, wow, stature.
he likes a couple sandwiches and donuts.
Oh gosh, he thinks he's a big deal. Dr. Joni says, that's what the lady testified that he said. You know, do you know who I am?
Yeah, I believe that it's happened to me, and so he does. He gets highly offended if you don't know who he is or his credits. He's the type of guy that says you need to Google before you call me.
Oh gosh. Dag on it. Some people need to get over themselves, huh? All right. And let's switch gears. Here's something, folks. You know, we keep hearing about all the student loan debts and this and that. Well, Americans know skilled trades is what keeps the country running, from welders to electricians, but the respect still doesn't match the reality. A new Harris poll shows that 91% of people polled say trade jobs are just as vital as white collar work, yet schools barely promote them. Gen Z isn't sold, and many Black Americans say a lack of role models is a major barrier. Corporate America and schools apparently have a clear job to do. Stop talking and start investing. Listen, I saw two different videos from two different times. Well, one was Muhammad Ali in the 60s, late 60s, and the other was Bill Cosby circa 73, 74. Both talking about the importance of learning a trade. And folks still seem to not get it. That is so important, Niele, learning a trade, because not everybody, especially now we see this, not everybody is going to have that, you know, C-suite job.
Well, I mean, trade occupations make just as much as C-suite jobs. And so it's kind of like we're going backwards when, you know, I think it was just like when the 70s and the 80s, you know, coming out of civil rights, and education was such an important part to the Black experience because we couldn't read and write. And so once we were able to get our civil rights and advance in life, you know, our parents and our grandparents, they wanted us to have that higher education, and trade, they wanted more for us because, you know, my grandfather was a street sweeper and made good money and was the king of the neighborhood, but they wanted better for me, right? They wanted better for their kids. And I think that that's kind of where we got away from, you know, letting the child do what they want to do. If you want to be an electrician, that's a dignified job. There is value in that. If you want to be a plumber, you know, go for it. But I just think that, you know, we went to college and now we're finding out that all of this student debt might not have been worth it, because you get an education, you pay all this money at a 4-year institution, and you can't find a job, but yet you have $100,000 worth of debt. But if you would have went to trade school and maybe became a chef at Cordon Bleu, you know, you'd be
You
winning.
know?
Everybody got to eat. Everybody needs electricity. Everybody needs their pipes and plumbing done. Everybody needs a painter. And so I think, you know, we're getting back to, you know, the options. And right now, college is just way too much of an expensive debt. You know, like, do you really want that debt? Is it really necessary?
And Mike V says he says I went to a trade vocational school for computer electronics technology after he got his GED. He says he wouldn't be here where he is today without trade school. And Orange
Mhm.
says, Niele, you are correct. He says we went away from what our parents and grandparents taught us. And the Stephanie Humphrey channel says they have a large CTE program in her school district where their students are learning trades and receiving paid
Mhm.
internships. So
Right.
there you go.
And
It is
sometimes when you
important.
go, yeah, sometimes when you like rush into college fresh out of high school, you don't even know what you want to be. So sometimes I think it's okay to take a beat and go to a community college, you know, and really develop yourself. So if you do decide to go to a 4-year college, you're going to get in and you're going to get out because you know after you then went to a community college, if that's the path you want to take, you're more conscious of the financial responsibility of it. And you might say, hey, I may want to be a chef instead.
Yeah, how about that? You know, I was in Philadelphia, Chinatown, a couple years back, and I saw this lady, older Asian woman, cleaning the sidewalks of these businesses. Now, there's probably about 100 storefronts, somewhere around that in Chinatown in Philadelphia. And she was charging each storefront per day $5 per day.
Mhm.
And at first glance, she's like, okay, $5. What you gonna do with $5? But just imagine if she had all 100, that's $500 a day for very minimal work because it was just like just moving dust. That was it. But I mean, that this made me think of that when you was talking about street sweeping, that not necessarily trades, but when you said street sweeping.
You know, city
Um,
workers, federal
mhm,
workers, a lot of those people that are federal workers, especially Black folks that have been there for 20, 30 years, they might not even have an education, but it was a
mhm.
city job or it was a government job with good wages and good benefits.
Yeah,
And so,
exactly. And Daniela Pierre mentions that Job Corps offers trade school education. It's a great opportunity for young people to learn trades, gain experience, and become entrepreneurs. And we know that this administration is trying to put an end to all Job Corps. So
well, they did. They wiped it
yeah,
out. But speaking of the administration, I guess a broke clock can be right twice a day. And it
uh-oh.
looks like the U.S. Department of Education announced that it will release billions of dollars in grants that they initially withheld. Now, this comes after President Trump froze over $6 billion in funding at the 1st of July, and it was to ensure spending aligned with the White House priorities. So, just recently, the agency agreed to release 1.3 billion of the money which was used for after school and summer programs as summer is just about over. But the release comes after the administration was met with dozens of lawsuits from educators, congressional members, and more. So they're hoping the challenges would result in the grants being released, and that is what happened. And I think this is like so important, you know, because a lot of people are like, we're hopeless. What can we do? What does your vote matter? Congressional Black Caucus isn't doing this, it's doing that. And the reality is, if you keep resisting, change does happen. And so now, schools across the country will get this funding because members of Congress, because educators, because organizations like the NAACP and the Urban League, they are still on the front line, you know, persisting and making sure that we save or salvage as much of this democracy that we have. So kudos to everybody that made this funding happen and get released. And it's just a sign of hope that, you know, keep resisting. It might not seem like nothing is happening, but change will happen if you keep resisting.
So has the funding been released, or is still
Yeah,
a battle? It's been released. Good, very good, excellent. I know also too. So this is show you said about a broke clock. Well, they continue to do stuff that even their actions show you and admit in their own way how wrong they are. They're advertising now for like 4,500 people. They want 4,500 employees for the IRS. They fired everybody. Now they need them for certain jobs. These folks are these are crazy folks.
Right. And more Trump clan news. The Smithsonian has removed Donald Trump from the impeachment exhibit. Yep, they sure did. And it was located in the Smithsonian American History Museum. Love that museum. But the Smithsonian said it restored the display to an earlier version, which notes that only 3 presidents have seriously faced impeachment removal. And so Donald Trump, and his clan continue to try to rewrite American history. And this is just a perfect example of, what they're doing. Like, you got impeached, bro.
Twice.
You can't change that.
Twice impeached.
And so, yeah. That's what he's doing. Good news, kind of, sort of. Remember Sean King? Sean King is an activist. He is partnered with, there he is right there, partnered with civil rights attorney Lee Merritt. They have the Grassroots Law Project, where they help and fund progressive candidates that run for district attorney. Sean King has been very vocal about what's happening over in Gaza, what's happening with the Palestinian people. I mean, if you follow him on TikTok, he gives you on the ground coverage of what's happening over there. Well, basically, Meta banned him. And so Meta has finally allowed and apologized to Sean and reinstated his account. However, they won't allow him access to it. So they sent him a note and said you can come back, but they won't allow him access. And for whatever reason, he can't log in because they've disabled his email. And so Grassroots Law Project is still hopeful because this is a big win for Sean because they just erased him. Just erased him.
I wasn't mad at that.
And he is such a powerful, he's such a powerful voice.
Yeah, I wasn't mad at that when they erased him. I've had my issues with that guy. Ever since he wrote his columns with the Daily News in New York, I think Sean King. Well, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I like Sean King. I think that he does add the commentary that we need. I think he speaks truth to power. I like the work that the Grassroots Law Project does because, like I said before, they fund progressive district attorney candidates, which is what we need in this country to change the landscape of police sanctioned violence and those other agencies that support it. And like I said, he speaks truth to power when other people don't. And he's highly educated and he understands the nuances of those conversations. And so hopefully he'll be able to populate in our news feeds again as soon as possible. And then our last story of the day is Delta. Okay, Delta Airlines is celebrating its 100th anniversary. And they've teamed up with Nike for custom Air Force One. It's a collaboration made exclusively for the employees. And the shoes are $150 and currently only available through Delta's internal platform. So why do they have to pay for these sneakers? Why wouldn't they?
So the employees got to pay?
They got to pay $150 for these Air Force One Delta sneakers. And I was like, oh, this is such a great story until I found out the employees have to pay for the sneakers.
Are they required to wear them at work?
No, I mean they're just it's a collaboration.
Okay.
And if you want to buy them, they're available. I mean, they can't force them to buy the shoes, but they're
Okay.
available only through the internal portal for Delta and the employees. But I thought the collaboration was cute until I found out that the employees have to buy the sneakers to wear to work.
I'm not wearing Delta on my foot. I'm not wearing it anywhere on me. So
Now, if I was a steward, if I was an airline
Right.
stewardess
Yeah.
and they gave me the shoes to wear, of course I would rock them.
Right.
For
Right.
sure.
Right. Yeah. At work.
At work.
Oh man. So why would they try to charge the employees to promote to promote the
A
company?
collaboration.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You couldn't give them a pair each. I guess not.
No, clearly, Stacy, clearly not. 150, and that's about the average price for a pair of Air Force Ones, $150. So there's not even a discount for them, right?
That's what I'm saying. Right. It's crazy.
That's the average cost of Air Force Ones anyway.
RG said $150. He said he bought 4 kids a pair of shoes and he spent $200 and the shoes are Nike. So I guess, look, it is I will say this. It is an original thing right there.
Mhm.
So I'll give him props for that.
I mean, I'll just go buy the Kobe sneakers.
There you go. Now, does the Kobe sneakers, when you buy the Kobe sneakers, does it go? The money goes to his estate, to Vanessa?
Do you know Vanessa?
I don't know Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa. I mean, as a journalist, if you know Vanessa as a,
I've
as
never
a
covered
journalist,
Kobe.
I know Vanessa, and of
Right.
course, Vanessa's getting a cut, and they're going to the Mamba Foundation as well. I bet you
Okay.
the Mamba Foundation gets a kickback, and the Kobe Bryant estate gets a kickback for sure.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. They're using his name and his likeness.
Oh, absolutely. I'm
Yeah, so,
100% in
yeah,
agreement
it's
with
only
that.
right.
Right. I just, sometimes you never know nowadays. You never know. But to your question, I've never covered Kobe, so I would, I've watched him from afar. I've never covered him. Never had one thing I don't do. I unless I know the celebrity, I don't get involved in their business dealings or their life at all. It doesn't. I just okay, whatever. I might cheer you on when you're on the court, but it goes no further than that. So I wouldn't know.
Okay.
So what else is going on?
And those are your headlines for today.
Those are our headlines. Oh, okay. Well, let's give you some Black history facts, folks, on this Friday. On this date in 1834, slavery was abolished across the British Empire, which sparked an annual August 1st Day celebrations among people of African descent in the U.S., North, Caribbean, Canada, and the UK. J.R. Kerr Ritchie's Rights of August book first detailed how these events united the Black Atlantic, blending culture and politics to build solidarity and strengthen the global fight against slavery. So this was a pretty big day in the history of Black people across the globe in 1834.
Right. And now it also starts Black August month, which we'll be talking about a little bit later this month. The importance of Black August, but that's, our history. American history is Black history, whether they like it or not, Stacy.
And they don't like it. That's what, listen, you talked about like they trying to erase the fact that Trump was twice impeached. They try to erase all of certainly they have been trying to erase all of our history, and that's, you say it almost every show at the end of the show too. That's read BlackPressUSA, read the Black press, read Black newspapers. We're the ones that are still documenting our history. So look, somebody's got to preserve it.
Right. And to lighten it up before we get out of here, today we remember songs that turned 45
Oh gosh.
this year. So 1980 was a golden year for R&B. So here we have some songs that turned 45. So the first one up is Kool and the Gang, Celebrate. Turns 45
And
today.
everybody plays that song, don't they? At
Everybody's. It's a summer
weddings,
jam.
whatever. Yeah, it's a summer jam. Yep.
It's a summer jam. It's a birthday jam. It's a what is it? A retirement jam.
Yeah, exactly. I've experienced
Here's
two of those
another
this
one
year.
for you. What turns 45 today? Jermaine Jackson, Let's Get Serious.
Oh gosh, with Stevie Wonder. Um, real interesting stuff there. I mean, it was one he had a couple of pretty solid hits, and that was one of them for sure. And of course,
For sure.
your guy Stevie lent his vocals to that too.
Oh, for sure. KJLH Radio Free in LA. We love Stevie out here. He's a treasure. Another one is Diana Ross. I'm Coming Out.
All right.
Turns 45 this year.
Oh gosh, you know what? When you talk about history, she's always going to be a part of. When you talk about music history, she's always going to be a part of it.
For sure. Another one which I used to love to watch. It was a movie. Then it turned into a TV show.
Oh yes.
And Debbie Allen had the famous line, well, fame costs. And right here is where you start paying in sweat. I'm talking about the hit made by Irene Cara, Fame.
Yeah, Irene Cara, man. You know, that another person gone too soon.
And then this is my girl. This is somebody who gets a black card. Okay, she gets invited to
I know who you going. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm talking about Tina Marie. I Need Your Lovin'.
There you go.
That was the jam.
Listen, that was the most soulful white woman ever.
What white woman out now can touch Tina?
Oh, come on. That's impossible.
I'm thinking who?
It's impossible. She was all that, and Rick James knew it.
Fire and Desire, but that's not 45, but you know.
Yeah. Man.
Another song that turns 45 this year is For the Lover in You.
Oh, wow. That's 45, huh? Wow, that's another one of them jams, those slow jams that you knew was gonna get played at some party.
Right. And then Jody Watley broke out and did her thing, solo career, which was very popular in the late 80s, early 90s. And then of course, Howard Hewitt, we were talking about the LA City Council member Heather Hutt invited Howard Hewitt to sing at her inauguration at First Sammy Church. Everybody in LA books Howard Hewitt and they want him to come sing Amen. That is like an LA staple. You know, you need a singer, call Howard and get him to sing Amen.
Wow. We had the pleasure of having Jody Watley on the program a few years ago, and she was a whole ball of fun.
Love her. One of the last tours of Frankie Beverly and Mays. And so I used to love Jody Watley, used to love her to death. And then last but not least, George Benson, Give Me the Night.
Give Me the Night.
Is George still alive?
George is still alive. Yep. I will, what's your favorite George Benson? Mine is on Broadway.
I like that one. And I like Give Me the Night too. I just remember those songs playing in my grandmother's house. And my mother and my aunt just, playing those songs. All of this 45 years reminds me, it's so nostalgic to childhood and when life was so much better, so much easier. No cell phones. We drank out the water hose. Cartoons was on when I got home from school. You know what I'm saying? This was this and that was that, and it wasn't all of this. It was just life was good. All of this.
All of that, huh? Oh my.
Songs that we celebrate that turned 45 this year.
And Dr. Joni says she loved Teddy Pendergrass, and RNG. RNG is too much.
Oh, did I say Teddy Pendergrass? TKO turned 45.
Oh,
yeah, TKO 45.
I have an aunt, Faye, who used to play that song. Back then you put the needle on the record,
Right.
and she played. And I tell you what, that was the one record in her collection. Though she played it and played it and played, never stopped playing it, and never got scratched.
Do you know what my ultimate Teddy Pendergrass song is?
What's that?
Cold, Cold World.
Oh,
have you heard of that one?
Yeah, but why is it?
I love that song. But I didn't appreciate. I didn't really hear it till I got older. But I so appreciate the lyrics. I love that song. Cold, Cold World.
Mine's is turn off the lights, light a candle. Turn them off. Teddy said, "Turn them off."
It could be Patricia. I'm gonna do a little more digging, and I might get some more songs next week. So I'll take a deeper dive and see if Peebo Bryson, what he did 45 years ago. What were his hits?
Can you do like 20 years? 50 years ago or 30 years ago?
Yeah, you could do whatever. You can do 5 years. You could do last year.
Oh gosh,
you gotta do a little research.
Gotta do some research, huh? Just real quick, RNG says 45 years ago he was 5 years old. He played Kool and the Gang every November 30th. That is his retirement date from 20 years of active duty military service. Break out the old English and 20 pounds of crawfish.
Oh,
he he's an interesting guy. Tonight is his the Swag Sports Show, RNG Swag Sports Show on YouTube, and today he is rocking Texas Southern University. So there you go. Niele, you haven't been rocking your stuff lately.
No, I haven't. I have to get back in the habit. I don't have that many HBCU shirts. I just have Grambling. That's the only swag that I'm representing. But I do have a lot of Black t-shirts, Black History, Black Facts, Black Fun. So I will get back into my t-shirt game on Fridays in honor of RNG.
Well, RNG should send you some swag. Swag.
I don't need none. All I need is Grambling.
Oh, that's right. That's
I represent
Grambling.
my alma mater, my HBCU. I don't need no other.
I haven't noticed him wearing any. Every time he says he's rocking something, he hasn't mentioned Grambling. I don't think.
Oh,
so maybe you need to send him something.
Okay. Well, since you're doing all the talking, how about you do it? Since you're doing all this, you send the t-shirt.
Oh man,
We're gonna get you a t-shirt. Oh yes, Orangey, I am going to Vegas for the Grambling Jackson State University game.
Oh, see,
it's in October. I think it's in October. Yeah, I think it's in October. But yes, everybody's talking about it. Everybody like, did you get your room yet?
Oh, he said he has mentioned he's rocked Grambling before. Okay,
I didn't say that. Orangey, Stacy did.
I said it. And now watch, I'm going to turn on RNG Swag Sports tonight, and he's going to be rocking Grambling. Oh, gosh. Folks, our Black-owned newspaper of the day is the San Francisco Sun-Reporter. It was founded nearly 80 years ago during the World War II era Black migration to the Bay Area. The Sun-Reporter emerged as a powerful voice for African Americans under the leadership of Dr. Carlton B. Goodlett and Thomas C. Fleming. The paper fought segregation, racism, and war, and became a hub for civil rights activism and political discourse. Dr. Goodlett, a Howard-educated physician and publisher, also led protests, ran for governor, and advised global peace movements. After his death in 1997, Amelia Ashley Ward transformed the Sun-Reporter with innovations like full-color printing and the launch of the Talented 25, honoring Black leaders in Northern California.
All right.
So our Black-owned newspaper. There you go. Check out the Sun-Reporter. You can check them out online, or if you're in the Bay Area, hey, get a physical copy.
Yeah, and of course, as you know, for the latest in Black news, and to keep up what's happening, head over to BlackPressUSA.com. Happy August 1st. Let's make it a great month, folks.
Yeah, and have a great weekend. And if you have bad weather where you are, because there's been bad weather a little bit of everywhere, just be safe, be smart, and we will see you next week.